The United States is using the so-called long-arm jurisdiction as a weapon to stymie competition, says Frederic Pierucci, a former executive of French company Alstom. Pierucci spent 2 years in a U.S. prison for his alleged role in a bribery scandal in Indonesia, based on which he co-authored a book, The American Trap.
The American trap is the following. After the end of the Cold War, you had the United States decided to use their intelligence agencies to focus on economic war. So they started in 1998, for instance, to make the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act extraterritorial.
In April 2013, Pierucci was arrested in New York by the U.S. Federal Bureau of Investigation. A year later, Alstom was asked to pay a huge fine of 772 million US dollars, which eventually led to the partial acquisition of the French company by General Electric, its arch rival.
I want to alert employees, companies, politicians about how the United States is using the law as an economic weapon in order to destroy companies, to buy them on the cheap, to put pressure on their employees, and eventually to make them pay a huge fine to the United States Treasury Department.
Pierucci says the U.S. is applying a similar strategy on China's Huawei. Last month, the U.S. Commerce Department put Huawei and its affiliates on a blacklist that requires federal government approval for any sale and transfer of U.S. technologies to the telecom giant. Huawei CFO Meng Wanzhou has been arrested in Canada at the request of U.S. authorities.
I'm outraged because they're using exactly the same tactic. They cannot get the company, and in order to get the company to cooperate with them, they put in jail or they indict somebody at high level. They use exactly the same technique with Huawei and Madame Meng. It's a cheap way to destabilize competition, and it's a cheap way to maybe regain technological advantage when they have lost it in certain fields. I feel very strong about that.
Pierucci calls on all other countries to join hands to counter U.S. unilateralism, saying that yesterday it was Alstom, today it's Huawei, and no one knows what would come tomorrow.